You got the bastard of bastards. $357 for guaranteed head removal. That's a sweetie. You got your standard size 45, super size. That's a fucking hungry man right there. And you got the King of Mayhem, half cannon, sword of justice. Take this fucker to the Holy Land, start your own crusade. Any one of these is bound to make you feel better about what's bothering
you. Hey, Ralph. What's up,
hey,
dude?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, so I saw. Okay, so if you were going to buy some fresh fish for dinner, what is like one thing you would not want to see in the store where you'd be getting the fish? Like, what would turn you off from buying fish from that place?
I don't know where you're going with this. So I'm sorry,
but I mean, you'd think cleanliness and things like that. So I saw a story that in
wait. Are you talking about googly eyes?
Yes,
googly eyes
in Kuwait.
I had that on my list, dude.
The police had to shut down a store that was selling fish because what they were doing to make the fish look more fresh were taking those googly eyes like you'd put on like a picture when you're a kid. They're putting googly eyes on the fish so they looked like fresh fish. Like,
what are you doing?
That's very innovative. Like, it's a good. Imagine you go home and you cook it and you're like, why did the eyes melt?
Here's the thing: who would buy that dumb enough to not? I saw the pictures.
Like
I knew immediately.
When you grab the fish and the eye goes back and forth.
I don't think fish have the white parts of their eyes.
I think some do, but they were putting it on like trout. All right, guys, welcome to episode 17 of You Watch, I Listen. We have a quick episode for you today. Quick, I mean like an hour, not like 40 minutes. I want to start out giving a couple shout-outs. First, to our boys at Lobo Sound. You got to check out Lobo Sound and the Bobo EP, especially leading up to their second EP with Bobo, Songs of a Festive Nature, which I'm grateful I got the credit for that. I don't even really remember saying it.
Yeah, since it was me that said it.
Was it you that said it? Tomato. So go check out Lobo Sound, lobosound.com/BoboEP. Shout out to Blood Rain Lit Mag. Go check them out. And one quick ad read for our buddies. Ladies and gentlemen, bros and broads, and genders of all shapes, sizes, and colors. We're here to tell you about our favorite drunken podcast, Fudge and Finn's #ShotsForLike podcast. Fudge and Finn have friends come to their studio to talk sports, video games, movies, shows, and of course have a few drinks to get loosey-goosey. The #ShotsForLike podcast is available on all podcast platforms, including iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play Music. Go follow them on Twitter at Shots for Likes, on Instagram at Shots for Like Podcast, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Shots for Like Podcast. The longer you wait to listen, the more shots you'll have to take all on your own. Don't drink alone. Drink with us. So again, a shout out to them over there. Keith and Dan do a great job. I was talking to someone that was on their show the other day, and he's telling me how he like, you need to be prepared to make sure you have a driver because my ride home didn't go very well after that.
Oh, no.
It's like within 2 minutes of leaving, he crashed his truck. So we'll make sure we don't do that. So again,
I mean, isn't the point of the show to get annihilated?
Yeah, I mean, it is to get annihilated, but I don't think it's like #shots for drive your car into a fucking tree. I don't think that's what they're going for. I think they want their friends to get home. I hope they want us to get home safe when we're on, which is just a couple weeks away, actually, which I'm really, really looking forward to.
That's exciting.
But even more so, I'm looking forward to this weekend. What do we have going on this weekend, Ralph?
We are going to the knitting conference.
The knitting conference, the Rotary Club.
Good improv, Ralph.
Yeah, great job. We actually have Ralph's bachelor party this weekend. As you know, he has a fiance, the fiance.
It's hard to have a bachelor party without a fiance.
I mean, we could try, but so we have a bachelor party this weekend. So we actually have something special lined up this Thursday since we won't be able to record over the weekend.
Do we want to say it now, or do you want to surprise it?
It's a
football show.
Yeah, it's a football show. We'll probably review I think we should just review our picks on there. And we can just splice it out and put the movie music review picks. Both of us really only have a few days to watch and listen to whatever the recommendations are, which is fine.
I think my pick for you, it's going to be a pretty easy one for you. It's not going to be like these last couple of weeks where.
And same thing for me. Mine's not like an obscure movie, so that's really good. But while we're talking about football, why don't you go into what happened this past week with fantasy football?
Okay, so as a few of you know, who were watching the live stream or probably watched it afterwards, we had our fantasy draft.
It was great.
Dan doesn't do fantasy, regularly.
Retired.
I do it pretty frequently, so I took the lead on it. And I prepared. I made sheets. Me and Dan talked about it. We had a plan. Things were good.
Things were ready to be good.
Things were ready to be good. Dan, and to be fair, I don't think either of us were aware of this.
No.
As me being co-owner, that means all I'm allowed to do is look at what Dan's doing.
And I think you could send me suggestions of things to do and things like that.
Basically, I was player 2. I was player 3 of a 2-player game.
You couldn't set any settings, difficulty, or anything?
So, round 1 comes up. We had the 6th pick. I decided I was going to take David Johnson, who happened to also be the first ranked on the board.
And you made it all the way to the 6th pick. Wow.
6th pick. I clicked David Johnson. He's assigned to the team. That is normal.
Yeah, that you wanted him. Does that make sense?
Then what wasn't normal was how everyone I picked in the subsequent rounds did not end up on my team. And if you watch the live stream, you are watching me get unraveled as I am freaking out on why the computer is picking the players for me. Given I am present at the draft and I am queuing the players up, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. When I'm aware that, like he said, I actually don't have any power and everything was auto-picking.
Yeah, you had the...
David Johnson just happened to be the one that we were going to pick.
He was the best player.
Auto-pick.
He was the best player available during auto pick, but we didn't realize it was auto pick because that's who you were going to take anyway. And I mean, it makes sense that we weren't aware the co-manager thing didn't. But my first instinct, if I were you, would have been to log into the account, but it didn't click in our heads that you couldn't do it as a co-manager.
No, so it wasn't until about the 5th round, which, to be honest, was really poor on my part to not realize.
Didn't we get Drew Brees in like the 5th round or something?
So I'll read through our picks.
Yeah, let's.
And
now, mind you, the only pick that was ours consciously was David Johnson, and even then, it was just by accident still.
This is probably one of the worst teams I have ever
and mind
put
you,
together.
by the way, guys, this is a dynasty league. We're stuck with these players for the next couple seasons.
What was the one thing I said? I am not going to take players who are
old,
on the downswing.
You didn't want to be the Raiders.
I didn't want to be the Raiders.
And now we are the Raiders.
I have a question.
Yeah.
AJ Green, how old is he?
He's got to be 31, 30.
Is he fit the definition of a guy who wanted a dynasty league?
I would not want him in a dynasty league.
Well, he's our 3rd overall pick.
Lovely. He's good for 1 year in a regular one-off league or in daily fantasy. He's great.
How about Drew Brees at the ripe age of 41?
Is he 41, Drew Brees?
He's either 39 or 41.
And he stays healthy all the time. So go ahead, go through our picks.
Okay, first round, David Johnson. A+.
Perfect.
Value. It was just, there was no reason not to take him.
Correct.
Second round, I don't remember who I wanted, but I know as hell it wasn't Devontae fucking Adams.
Who I literally told someone who was doing a draft last night, I would stay away from Devontae Adams.
If you
early.
watch a live stream, I'm pretty sure I say something to the effect of anyone but Adams.
And then who did we get?
Devontae Adams. And Devontae Adams is a good player.
But he's not a dynasty player.
He's not a dynasty player. He's going to be
He's not even a 3rd overall player.
He's one of those guys where he's on the upswing and he could have a great season. I'm not willing to take that risk when there's, players like Leonard Fournette on the board.
Yeah, and that's who we wanted, Leonard Fournette. So after Devontae Adams,
we got AJ Green and his AARP card. We got Doug Baldwin and his one knee.
Yeah, and he's not young either.
He's what is it? I'm sure he's probably
he's got to be in
29.
He's got to be close
30.
to his 30s. Yeah.
Golden Tate in the 5th round. Golden Tate. And when you think of Golden Tate, you think of him as this is a must-have player. Do you know what Golden Tate is? He's a compromise.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So at this point, I'm starting to realize that the system
there's a problem.
But I don't know how to fix it. Dan is being no help because he's just mocking me on the live stream.
I was watching the live stream, just laughing my fucking ass off as this was happening.
So the next 3 picks, I'm not going to say I had any input in them because I hadn't had any input in any of the picks, but I wasn't even around to see these guys because I was logging out, logging in. So we got Derrick Henry, who I probably run faster than him.
I actually like that pick. I think Henry's going to have a big year.
In the 6th round? In a 10-team dynasty?
If you didn't he's young, first of all. He's going to be the starter long term.
I'm telling you, Deion Lewis is going to have a comparable season.
I don't think he's going to get the bulk of the touches, if that's what we're coming down to, and I don't think he's going to stay healthy if he does get the bulk of the touches.
Everyone has been cold on Henry this year.
I know, and that's why I like him. I think that's one of those guys.
I would have taken him in the eighth round.
All right, so go on, Derrick Henry, 6.
And I really apologize for anyone who knows nothing about football and even less about fantasy. I might as well be speaking a different language. So I'll just yell really loud to know when I'm unsatisfied, and you'll know if it's bad.
All right, so 7th pick?
Drew Brees, not the end of the world.
No.
Okay? Doesn't meet any of the definitions, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's got a good offense. I can live with that.
Yeah, and a good offensive coach who's always going to make sure he gets his points in.
These are the 2 picks where I lost it. Trey Burton. Now, Trey Burton's the darling of everyone in fantasy.
Yeah.
He's a tight end for the Bears. You know, when you think of offensive juggernauts, you think of the Chicago Bears.
And you think of Trey Burton at
Trey
tight end.
Burton with his 264 yards last year.
How many touchdowns do you have? Like 2?
If he had 2, that statistically is
At
impossible.
that point, just take Anthony Fasano. Like, same fucking difference. Keep going.
And then the pick of the draft.
Yeah, this is our winner.
New York Jets, which, by the way, we both said no Jets. Under any circumstance, no Jets.
And who do we get?
Isaiah Crowell, who might not even be the lead back on his team. What a draft.
Yeah, you know it's a problem when Richie's happy.
Richie was happy.
Yeah, that's not good.
I hate the Jets. Me and Dan don't have a lot in common with our sports. Like, we respect our teams. There's one common thing. We both hate the Jets.
Yeah, we fucking despise the Jets.
Dolphins, Giants, Jets, excellent.
Yeah,
over
fuck the Jets.
And if I'm going to take a Jet, I'm not going to take Isaiah fucking Crowell.
Yeah, like if you're going to take anyone, you take...
He was a reject on the Browns.
You take Robbie Anderson, maybe Quincy Anunya. Like,
and you take him the late rounds.
Yeah, you take him late as a sleeper. All right, who after that, after Isaiah Crowell?
Then I finally got access.
Okay.
In the very, very smart 10th round.
Okay.
Sony Michel.
Okay.
I think that's an upside pick. A lot of risk on it, but he's young.
I hate his name.
Good offense. He has the knee drain. You don't know what you're going to get because he's a Patriot.
And he has a terrible name.
He has a terrible name. X-Spot Allison. That was so stupid.
I know. All right, go on.
Carlos Hyde, who
that's not a bad. That's not
great.
a bad pick.
If we take his one leg and Doug Baldwin's other leg, we have one healthy
you have
player.
to account for Carlos Hyde missing at least 3 games.
At this point, then, here's the second pick of the draft. I didn't know what to do, so I took Ryan Tannehill in the 12th round, who shouldn't be on a roster in fantasy.
To be fair,
In a 2 QB league.
in a 2 QB league, but in his last full season before he got hurt, he was the number 3 quarterback in all of fantasy. So he's someone that you could keep and use as trade bait if Drew Brees isn't playing well, because you never know when the age wall is going to hit. I actually don't think that's the worst thing you could do.
Do you know what the smart thing to do? Not have 4 quarterbacks on the roster because we have 4.
Okay, so keep going, Ryan Tannehill.
We have 1/8 of the league's quarterbacks on our roster.
Who do we got after Tannehill?
Okay, Anthony Miller. He's my breakout player of the year. I think he's going to be great.
Royce
for the
Freeman was.
Okay, second, Royce Freeman, who, by the way, we had 2 opportunities to draft.
And couldn't. All right, keep going.
Anthony Miller, wide receiver of the Bears. I know I just bashed the Bears, but he's...
Now you have 2 Bears tight ends.
No, Anthony Miller's wide out.
Wide out, yeah. 2 Bears offensive players,
I
though.
finally take a quarterback that makes sense. Patrick Mahomes. High reward, high risk. I think that's a perfect backup to a steady guy like Brees.
It's also, I don't even know if it's high risk because you're not relying on Pat Mahomes.
Exactly.
So it's low risk, high reward.
Yeah, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Especially in a dynasty. He's someone you can hang on to.
I took a homer pick for you. I took Kenny Stills.
Yeah, which isn't a bad pick for
At
wide
this point,
receiver.
I'm starting to take flyers, and now it's looking kind of following it. John Ross, this guy could be a home run. He could be a nothing.
Yeah.
He's going to sit on our
He's
bench.
an all-or-nothing receiver right now.
My pick that I really liked, Darius Geis.
Yeah, I like
He's
that
going to sit
pick.
on our IR,
And then
come
next
back
year-
healthy next year. He tore his ACL in training camp. Everyone said that he had the potential to be a top 10 running back. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I took a few Dan picks. Jake Butt.
Jake Butt's going to have a great year, watch.
And just for you, I think you logged off after I did this. I took Josh McCown.
Of course you did. So we literally have 4
We have 4 quarterbacks.
Josh McCown, who's going to be the backup to who should be the backup.
So
great work there. And staying on the theme of fantasy or football in general, Ralph and I are also going to do head-to-head picks this season. Mostly on the website, we'll put in our picks, and then we'll discuss the week after. Obviously, when we post it, it'll be after the fact, but our picks when we write them on the website at youwatchilisten.com will be before the week, and then we'll discuss them the week after. So we're excited for some football stuff. We got some friends sitting in with us on Thursday.
by the way, do you know what the best thing about this team is?
That we're favored
We're favored by 13 points.
to win this week or the season.
The guy we're going against. Oh, no, this first matchup.
We got a pretty good ranking, though, for our draft that we didn't do.
Yeah, because it's based off Yahoo. Yahoo's grading Yahoo.
Exactly. So that was pretty cool. So why don't we jump into our reviews for last week since we're not going too long. So why don't you go first?
Okay. You gave me, what was it, Death Sentence?
Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon, and you stated specifically you love Kevin Bacon.
I do
and
love
I
Kevin
rewatched
Bacon.
the movie last night. I hadn't seen it in a few years.
Couple things. This movie sucks.
I know, it's absurd. I love it, but it's absurd.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
It is hands down the worst movie you have given me.
I agree.
But I had so much fun watching how bad it was.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
It was really. I watched it with the fiance, and halfway through, she's just like, she's making a list of all the issues.
When did you watch it?
I watched it last night. After.
Okay. Me and the landlord watched it last night. She was doing the same fucking thing, ripping on it. And I'm like, I like this fucking movie.
She's saying things. She's using words like, should they follow a police report? Should he be arrested?
Yeah, I said that to the landlord. I'm like, you got to suspend disbelief for a movie like this.
The least scariest gang ever.
Yeah, exactly.
The gangs of the Warriors were more believable.
I know.
They all have tribal tattoos. Like,
Yeah, they're all skinheads.
John Goodman is never in a bad role until this movie. John Goodman,
Dude,
sucks.
he's also fatter than ever in this one.
He's fat. He's sweating.
He looks like Micah.
Nothing made sense. He's giving him the guns.
He looks like he was in the pit.
Oh my.
So the landlord was saying the same thing. She was so mad about watching it. I'm like, I like it. I think it's an enjoyable movie.
It was so stupid that you know what it is? It's the opposite of Sunshine. Sunshine thinks it's smarter
It
than
takes itself too seriously.
This movie maybe should have.
When
Filled a plot hole or
it
two.
gets gratuitously violent, it's fun. It's ridiculous.
The scene when he's in the warehouse, I'm like, this is a video game.
Yeah, dude, the guys are getting blown back.
This is
10 feet from a buckshot.
Do you remember the game Soldier of Fortune?
Yes.
It was Soldier of Fortune.
So it's so bad that it's
And
great.
by the way, he loses in the end. His entire family gets killed except for his comatose kid.
And he dies.
They don't establish it.
I
You
think
assume
it's
he does.
implied, and there is an alternate ending where he does die.
He's
So,
all
sorry
pale.
again, spoiler alert. I thought Kevin Bacon was decent in it. It was definitely hammy and campy.
Kevin
but-
Bacon made the same facial
In every
expressions that Clint Eastwood made in the other movie, Gran Torino.
The landlord, yeah, he did. The landlord was saying, if Ralph likes this movie, I think his taste sucks. I was like, I think he's gonna like it because of how ridiculous it is.
I liked it the way I like Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, it was fun. Like it's one that I could keep on, and I don't feel like I have to be fully invested.
I actually would walk out of the room to get something, and the fiance would be, "You want me to pause it?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah, you know what's going on. But it was-
I'll say what was a cool scene. The scene in the parking garage
That's
was
an
a
amazing
really
scene.
great scene.
It was filmed
Did not
well.
fit the rest of the movie because it was so well
Yeah,
filmed.
it was a well-filmed scene, and what's weird, the director James Wan, you could tell that it's his type of filmmaking because a lot of the scenes are filmed like The Conjuring and the Saw movies. But I don't think it's some kind of fucking Oscar winner. I think it was a fun, entertaining movie. It's first off, it's a guy's movie, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
It's fully a guy's movie. It's a vendetta vigilante movie.
Isn't it? I read afterwards. Isn't it the sequel? The book's the sequel to Death Wish.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like watching. I'm like, why am I watching Death
Well,
Wish?
it's funny when I was talking to the landlord. She's like, "I don't want to watch Death Wish." I'm like, "I know you don't want to watch.
We're
Death
not
Wish.
watching Death Wish. We're
Yeah.
watching Death
So
Sentence.
I love that you watched it because we got back last night after being out at the bar, and me and the landlord watch it, and I guess you and the fiance
like,
watch it.
For quality of movie, I give it a 1.
Yeah,
It is
but-
by far
but-
one of the worst.
But for entertainment
it
purposes,
was like a 3.5.
yeah, it was.
I liked it.
It was an entertaining movie, and again, the landlord and the fiance are both like thinking logistics in a movie where the guy goes in court and says, "I was wrong. I don't think that was the guy."
And then he walks away with no like police. They don't go, okay, this
The
guy's
judge
clear.
doesn't dismiss him; he just walks out.
The judge gets mad at Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's son got killed. The judge is giving him tough love.
So
I like the there's a person from every continent in the gang because that's how gangs really
this
are.
is why I've recommended this movie to people like you, and I know Taylor would love. It was a fun
it was
movie.
so stupid.
It was so stupid, but it was fun.
I enjoyed it a lot more than
Thank you.
it should have.
Yeah, exactly. You enjoyed it more than you should have, and it was definitely one that when I was younger, I held it in a different type of regard than I do now, and it helped that I was a little ripped when I watched it last night because I was able to decipher it. I did get annoyed with the landlord because I'm sitting there like I am enjoying the movie and she's ripping on it. I'm like, shut the fuck up! I like this movie.
The fiance was she was ripping on, but she was enjoying
She was
ripping on it.
entertained. Yeah, I think the landlord was
She
doing the
fell
same.
asleep and she went, "Tell me how it ends," and I'm like, "I can tell you how it ends. Everyone dies."
Yeah, everyone dies.
I thought the only thing that caught me by surprise was when his family got killed.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a dream. But here's the thing. Because there was such little character development, I went, "Oh, they died. Okay."
Yeah, it was Travolta's wife that was playing his wife. So, all right, I'm glad you were at least entertained by it. We could pick up. It was
By
a
the way,
fun
the
pick.
gang kills 2 cops, and the cops go, "Well, this stinks."
Yeah, they decide that this
They
is what
wouldn't.
we
They
take it
wouldn't
up.
have all forces, 2 officers down.
And the one thing the landlord said that made me laugh hard, she said the worst scene, the most unbelievable scene is when he goes to John Goodman to buy the guns, and he's
John
like,
Goodman lets him go.
he goes, "Oh, you're gonna kill my son? All right, see you later."
You could have taken. You could have taken so many characters out of the movie, and nothing in the plot would change.
I didn't think Landlord thought Kevin Bacon was terrible. I didn't think he was that bad. I think he was playing
Kevin Bacon.
He was playing the way it was written. She specifically pointed out the scene where it was definitely his worst acting in the movie was when he was in the shower and started crying. It was so
random. Sarah McLachlan songs are playing. Like, what?
I know. I do like the one song they use in there, the one that plays like after the family gets killed. It's a band called Pilot Speed. I actually do like them in that song. But it's such a the one thing
they could have been playing Motorhead for all I care. Like,
just playing Megadeth.
This was such
an absurd movie.
It was so absurd. Like, I'm probably never going to watch it again, but I've seen it in every other movie.
But if there was nothing on it, you saw it on like TBS, you'll leave it on because it's one of those you could just leave on in the back.
You know what this movie is?
Predator 2.
We watch local news a lot because we love how bad local news is.
Local news is great.
This would be if local news produced a movie.
Well, I'm glad you were entertained. Right. So why don't we go into the review of your album? This was Sleep's album, Dopesmoker. And I hit the play on the first song, and I see the first of 2 songs, and I see 57 minutes. I'm like, this motherfucker. But I sunk into it. Even being sober, I was like, all right, I could get into this. Like, I was sitting there at my desk the first time I listened to it, and I liked it more than the last one you gave me, The Sciences, because it was just one cohesive mix of sound that continued for almost an hour, and I found myself, as it was going on, like getting more and more into it. And then I listened to it a little fucked up, and I was like, yeah, this is my fucking jam right here.
You get it.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm so happy you get it.
I really got invested to it. I've never had a song longer than 20 minutes that I was like, I want to listen to this, and I've listened to this like 10 times. I was sitting there, dude. I was watching this. This is how ADD I am sometimes. I was playing Madden. I was watching The Sopranos, and I was listening to Dopesmoker.
Everything about Dopesmoker shouldn't work, but it does.
It does, yeah. It's just something like, I think, and this is where I differ with a lot of music, is I want to feel what, I've said this before, I want to feel what the musicians were thinking or feeling when they were recording and writing. And with these guys, in a weird way, usually you get that mostly with like emotional pieces. This is something that's emotional to them in a different way. It's just their state of mind. I would say this is what's going through their minds when they do anything.
They wanted to push the limits of what could be done.
Oh, they did.
And I don't know if you read my write-up.
I did.
They really didn't have all that much credit. Like, stoner metal wasn't this like...
It's not a subgenre. It's not a typical subgenre.
No. So, like, it had a little success. So they're walking in like they're the fucking Beatles in '64, like, take it or leave it.
Exactly. They didn't
give balls on these guys.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck. Like, literally, like, there was like a 5-minute stretch of the part of the song where it was just the same riff for 5 minutes, like no change. And I was expecting like to start hearing "Smooth" by Carlos Santana. Like, what were they gonna do next? But overall, and then I like the other one, "Holy Mountain," for being a 12-minute song, was a really cool.
Is that
song.
the one? So
it sounds very like garage bandy.
So I didn't know this. So apparently, because of the weird history of it, there's 3 distinct versions of it. There's the one where the record company chopped up into 5 shorter tracks, which the band said, no, that's not the album you need to listen to. Who could tell the fucking difference? It's the same song. But so then every time they re-released it, they always would put an Easter egg, a second track on there. One of them was Sonic Titan, which they actually finally released on The Sciences.
Okay.
Holy Mountain, I guess it was it a live version or?
It didn't even sound like a live version because there's no audience in the back. It sounded like it was just recorded in a garage. Like, it sounded very raw.
That's a re-recording of their first album. They have a song called Holy Mountain. So they always, so they don't screw their fans over, they always give them a little extra.
The thing I dug about the shift from Dopesmoker to Holy Mountain was Dopesmoker was this very well-refined, well-mixed, well-edited song that was an hour long, and it sounded like there was no mistakes or no second guesses. On Holy Mountain, it sounds like they did one fucking just jam session for 12 minutes, and they're like, this is it, take it or leave it.
Fuck it,
and I respect that tremendously. So I'm very happy you introduced Sleep to me, because this is one I actually was recommending him to our buddy Jeremy the other day when I saw him, because he's into like...
he would, knowing Jeremy, he would love this.
We were talking about Bass Nectar, and then I was like...
it's Bass Nectar.
Bass Nectar, like a... Bass Nectar. It's a fishing band.
It's a fishing stoner band. I'm picturing a fish eating like a flower.
But overall, Sleep, Dopesmoker. I got to give this one. I liked it more than the last one. It's like a 3.8 out of 5. I was highly entertained. I really enjoyed it.
It's a unique album, and it's a difficult album, but it is. When you finish it, don't you feel accomplished?
Yes, and this is one I would want to listen to on a long drive. And it's funny because Greg said the same thing to me when he saw. He's like, "I'm surprised it took Ralph this long to give it to you." And I'm like, "I'm happy he did."
I couldn't have given you this week one. This had to be some I had to ease you into.
This was really cool. So
that's why I gave you the sciences, because I was like,
so I'm very happy that this week we were both very pleasantly surprised in different ways by the picks we gave.
I actually thought you were going to hate Dopesmoker, but for the first time, if you hate it, I was going to say I totally understand it. But the fact that you loved it made me so happy.
I loved it from the beginning when I was first listening to it. After the first 10 minutes, and I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then after the next 10 minutes, I'm like, "I love what the fuck is happening." I still didn't know what was happening, but I loved it.
Exactly.
So that was a really cool one. So where do you want to go from here? Because we said we're going to keep it an hour. Do you want to jump into our picks for this week and then go over our random bullshit we have?
Yeah, let's do quick ones.
What the fuck did I do with my pen? Did you take my pen, or we'll just switch back and forth?
I fidget with it.
So why don't I go first and give you my pick for a movie? And I'm going to give you one. This is relevant. It comes out this week on DVD. We've talked about it quite a bit. I'm going to finally give you, and you have 3 days to watch it, Hereditary. I know the fiance wants to watch it. I have no chance of getting the landlord to watch it under any circumstances. I know it's available to stream on certain platforms right now, so you can buy it, rent it, or whatever. We've talked about Hereditary a bunch on here. We talked about it with Taylor last week. Scariest movie I've seen in years. It's an incredibly well-made horror movie. For you, I know how you go with horror. You don't like The Conjuring, like house hauntings and everything, but you do seem to like some things that walk the line of the occult.
I love
it's not
stuff.
Obvious. And this is, if you like Rosemary's Baby, if you like The Exorcist, specifically more Rosemary's Baby, The Omen as well. This is along those lines where it kind of keeps you. It takes a shift from being a psychological thriller to a straight up horror movie. But the acting is incredible. Toni Collette's amazing. Gabriel Byrne is amazing. The little girl whose name I don't remember is great, and the son, Alex Wolff, I believe his name is fantastic. I'm really happy to be giving you one that is a current release and not a 10 or 12-year-old movie, which I don't care about doing, but it is cool to give you something a little more recent.
And I feel like everyone's in the Hereditary club except for me, so I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, which is surprising.
Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
I think I'm a little. Can you just turn my knob down a little tiny bit?
Your knob?
Oh, good one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
So your pick this week with a few days to watch is Hereditary. And I'm very excited to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have an opinion.
One way or the other.
This is my prediction, knowing nothing about the movie. I probably will say it's not a movie for me, but I get it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm probably gonna
think I don't see how anyone would be able to watch Hereditary and at a minimum not be able to acknowledge how well made of a horror movie it is without relying on jump scares, without the streaking music and the door closing jump, which is the common theme in movies like The Conjuring. As much as I do enjoy The Conjuring, it doesn't rely on that. And as well, being a first-time director, to have a movie that is this honed in for your first movie in a genre that is very hard to break into and make a great movie. It's very easy to make a horror movie. It's very difficult to make a great horror movie, especially in your first try.
I've always said I don't know what scares me, so I wouldn't know what to scare other people. So I'm hoping that this kind of clarifies. The ones that I like aren't really scary movies. Like, I thought The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and I don't watch a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
I really liked that movie a lot.
It was a great
I wouldn't
movie.
say it was scary, but I enjoyed it. The Witch, same thing. I enjoyed The Witch.
Didn't scare you.
Didn't scare me. So I kind of want to be scared.
I think the kind of stuff that would creep you out is the stuff that, well, like I was saying, walks the line of realism, where it's real life horrors, and then it takes a turn.
I get more scared of Black Mirror than any horror movie. That's kind of where my mindset is, because that's realistic. You don't really need to suspend disbelief too much with that. You got a lot of humanity, which I find scarier than like a monster.
And it works with stuff which is taking over our society with technology. So this one, it walks the line of realism into the occult stuff, which, whether you believe or not, it can be done very well if it's done properly.
All right, Hereditary.
So Hereditary. What do you got for me?
I'm giving you the genre that I really neglect the most, and I think you already know it's coming. I'm giving you Run the Jewels.
Okay, cool.
I know you've heard Run the Jewels. I know you know a little bit about them. I'm going to give you, they have 3 albums. They're all called Run the Jewels. I'm going to give you the first Run the Jewels. They're all great. They're all pretty
first album.
Same level. I would say probably the best rap group or rap act to come out in the last 5 years or so.
I would be comfortable saying that as well, just from what I've heard. I've never heard an album the whole way through, but I'm familiar with a lot of their work.
It mixes the technology to produce rap.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I think technology has moved to the point where it's very easy to make a good rap beat.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to make a great rap song because it's so easy.
Exactly. And The other difficult thing is, and it used to be the common thing that rap groups were big and they were great, and then over the last 20 years, it's not really a thing. Like, what do we have? G Unit, who kind of stunk, D12, who kind of stunk. Like, they didn't really have rap groups.
And
when you think about Wu-Tang, NWA,
Wu-Tang's-
The Roots, there's all kinds out there. Fugees, like...
They don't work. It sounds like your turn, your turn, your turn. They don't mesh well. LP and I think Killer Mike.
Yeah,
what's his name? Killer Mike. Great chemistry. One will end and the other one will just pick up, and it almost sound like one guy doing two voices.
Okay.
Like they're so in sync. I need to re-listen to the album myself because they don't put out great cohesive albums, which, you know, if you've listened to the show, that's kind of a thing with me. It sounds like, okay, these are 12 great songs.
Yeah.
So I need to kind of refresh myself. I do know of all of them, this is the one I like the most. But, you know, if you listen to Run the Jewels 2, it's the same quality. Run the Jewels 3 was really good too. Actually, that one I probably like second most.
Okay.
They actually do something cool. They actually have an instrumental album. They always release the main album and then a weird remix, I would say.
Yeah.
So they have the instrumental for the first one. The second album they released, Meow the Jewels, where all the vocals were replaced with cat noises. It's really stupid, but you go, this serious, like, hardcore album, and they're going, oh, now here's cat noises.
That's awesome. So, your pick for me is Run the Jewels. It's just their first album.
Run the Jewels. They also, you know how much I like this. First song is called Run the Jewels on the album Run the Jewels by the band Run the Jewels.
That's awesome.
Always a great
so yeah,
great thing
I actually
kind
of like that we have like a shorter window because I really have to cram it and you have to cram the movie obviously. So you get to
I'm going to watch it driving home on the iPhone.
I would not want to watch that movie driving home. But yeah, I mean we'll have ample time, especially because you have a Friday off. We got time, and then obviously football on Thursday. Opening game is Falcons Eagles, and Josh will be coming in a little late to see how the Falcons are doing.
You
actually think the Falcons are going to win.
You'll know how the Falcons are doing because of the way Josh enters a room. He'll either yell "fuck" or "yeah."
Yeah, exactly.
He'll do a Ric Flair.
Or no, if they're like getting crushed, I am putting money on he won't show up.
He won't show up.
I was shocked when he showed up at my birthday this past year when the Falcons lost in the playoffs. I thought he was going to just bail, and then he walks in and he's like, "Oh, they fucking suck. Fuck this." So we'll see.
Speaking of rap,
sure.
I know we talked a little bit of this off air.
Mm-hmm.
Driving here, I listened to Eminem's new album,
yeah,
Kamikaze.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna give a full review because, to be honest, I've only listened to it once, so this is just kind of raw thoughts. I really like the album.
Yeah.
I think it's his best album since his first
Eminem show. It's definitely his best work since the Eminem show, but that was when I was done with Eminem too. So
completely different from the last bullshit album.
It's not poppy, which is what he's been doing. Listen, I think you lose your credibility after your second pop duet with Rihanna.
There's a few clunkers on here. I think the opening track is some of the best stuff he's done in a while. He sounds angry. He sounds energetic. He does fall into the typical Eminem cliches where, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. That's why I'm going to mention it every song.
Still talks a little bit about Trump and Pence and whatever.
Not nearly as much as I expected.
Not as much as the last time. But I actually kind of respect that he acknowledges how much his stuff has sucked recently. He talks about how the last album, he has not had a good album, and I don't care what anyone says, he's not had a good album since the Eminem show. He's had good songs. There's been good songs on some of those albums. Rap God is great. God is fucking great.
I always confuse him. Relapse and Recovery.
Yeah, Relapse and Recovery.
I know we differ on this one. I didn't like Recovery. I didn't think Recovery was that bad, but it's pop Eminem. That's probably the peak of pop Eminem. So what was it?
It was he had the Eminem show, then it was Encore, which was awful. That was when he started doing that song like Mockingbird about his toy soldiers, which he was like, "Oh, I'm paying."
I forgot about Encore.
That was terrible. He had that song where he did like the Pee Wee Herman laugh on the chorus. Lose it.
Then did he retire?
No, whatever. He stopped doing pills, is what happened. So yeah, he retired from making
Relapse.
He retired from making good music.
Relapse was. Relapse, because of how bad the last album was, I think we forget how awful Relapse was. I think Relapse might be his worst work.
I think, and so I listened to Kamikaze a couple times, and just because everyone was talking about it, and I said on Twitter, like, I haven't been interested in anything Eminem's done since the Eminem show. And I was like, it's not fair if I don't at least give it a try. And I did not hate it as much as I thought I would. It was definitely the best thing he's put out, but I will again have no desire to really go back and revisit it. It's not
a classic album.
No, so these were his albums. albums. You go back to the big ones. You had the Slim Shady LP, fantastic.
He also had that weird one that before he got famous, that was only on cassette.
Well,
Infinite.
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 Yeah, so, then you had the Marshall Mathers LP, Certifiable Classic. Eminem Show, great album.
Eminem Show's my favorite.
And then Encore. That's when I became done with him.
Encore wasn't that bad. I liked Encore.
That was the one that had the Mockingbird song.
No. I'm sorry. I'm confusing. Yeah, Encore sucks. I'm thinking Eminem Show.
Then Relapse stunk.
They all have the same album cover, which confuses
Recovery.
Me. Recovery wasn't that bad.
And then the Marshall Mathers LP2 sucked. Rap God is a dope fucking song. Revival sucked.
Revival is bad.
He can still fucking spit with the best of them. There's not many people that can rap as well as Eminem, but I said this to you off the air. I need something tragic in his life to happen so he gets angry again, and I want him to talk about killing people and hurting his family. That's the Eminem that I fell in love with, and it's kind of weird that like a 45-year-old man that still is talking about on a song about raping his mother, but that was what made Eminem Eminem. And the second he got neutered and snipped, I believe that people fell into the nostalgia of Eminem more so than actual Eminem. And it's the same thing. Remember when Dr. Dre came out with a song a few years ago, that I Need a Doctor song?
Ugh.
And people were like, oh my God, Dre's back. I'm like, you mean by making the same sappy shit Eminem's been doing for the last three albums? No. That song, I literally lost respect for anyone that thought that I Need a Doctor song was good, and I'm glad it convinced Dr. Dre that he should not release an album. Just sit on that Beats money and produce and shut the fuck up, Dre. No one cares.
Let me go through them real quick.
Go back to slapping D Barnes.
I want to confuse. I'm getting confused because I literally said Encore stinks, and then I said, "Oh, I liked Encore," so I'm confusing them.
I know people that liked Encore.
No, Encore's the one I dislike. Yeah. Eminem Show's the one I really like.
Eminem Show was great. What's were the big songs?
Those Lose Yourself.
Yeah, Lose Yourself. No, was it on there? Lose Yourself was the 8 Mile soundtrack.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Lose Yourself was
Without Me was the big one.
Was that? Look up the songs on it because there was a big single on Eminem Show.
Cleaning Out My Closet.
Yeah, that's the one I thought of. That's what might be his.
Without Me.
That could arguably be one of his best songs.
Till I Collapse.
White America is fucking great. To open up an album.
I think I'm gonna listen to this on the way home.
And Sing for the Moment. I know you don't like Aerosmith, but his cover, Sing in the Moment, I love.
That's the only Aerosmith song I love.
Oh, that's their first big song.
Yeah, they peaked early.
So yeah, I had Eminem written down as well.
I liked it a lot. I think it's not must listen, but I'll say this: if it was released during his golden time,
it would be praised.
I think it would be praised.
Yeah.
I think it's just we've had enough of Eminem, and he's let us down so much.
I just thought about another terrible song off Encore, his anti-Bush song, Mosh.
Oh
my God, that was so bad. And people that convinced themselves that shit was good really need to reevaluate a lot of decisions they've made.
You know what I really like about Conga? I love the album comes out, no warning.
Yeah, I want to see more people do that.
And I think this album fit. It sounds like I'm going to do everything I did with Revival and do the opposite.
Yeah. Well,
which that's not always the best way to say.
I want to see more artists just drop an album. I think when like Tool's album finally comes out, it's just going to come out. I don't think they're going to do any promotion. It's just going to come out.
Brand New did that with Science Fiction, and I think that's their best album.
Yeah. So I had that written down. I had a couple things here.
Yeah.
You remember the books when we were kids? They were like the first horror books for kids, the scary stories to tell in the dark. They had like kind of that.
Oh, with that great artwork.
Yeah. So it's being made into a movie. Listen, Guillermo del Toro is producing and writing it.
Okay, I'm in.
I was indifferent to the idea of this being made a movie, and then I heard del Toro was on it, and then the one thing I was worried about is what the movie was going to look like. And someone asked him on Twitter the other day, are you going to try having this movie filmed to look like the books? And he said 100%. You can't do those stories.
Gets it. Yeah, he gets it.
He's not directing it, but the director of it did make. Oh, it's the director of Autopsy of Jane Doe is doing it.
I'm in.
So I think it's a great idea. I think the idea of making a preteen or children's horror movie is kind of lost in today's world. Actually, I was surprised at how much I liked the Goosebumps movie. But when we were kids, we had the Goosebumps series, which for horror for kids, and Are You Afraid of the Dark? Another one.
Oh.
It can be done well. If you have to take some risks. You have to take some risks.
I think you need to frame it as if you're a preteen or a teenager and what scares them. Don't do you're an adult watching a preteen. And that's hard to capture. And I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
You need to feel like how you would feel 14 reacting to this shit.
Exactly. Like, that's like so many people, the first movie that scared them will still resonate with them as an adult because it's that memory that's ingrained in their head. So that I'm really excited about. And the other big movie news that I'm excited about it's a movie and TV, I guess, but they have confirmed, this is Disney, Marvel, that they are working with Wesley Snipes on a new Blade project.
Yes.
And it could be possible that it is a TV series and a movie, or just one or the other.
I don't care. I want it.
In my honest opinion, the first 2 Blade movies are the best that Marvel has ever put out. There's been some great ones in there. Iron Man's great. The Captain America movies are great. Blade 2 is probably my favorite Marvel movie, period. And Marvel and all you fanboys of the MCU have Blade to thank for everything that's happened since. There would be no X-Men, there would be no Spider-Man, there would be none of that if Blade wasn't such a surprising success. And it's a lesser-known character to non-comic book fans as well.
I actually didn't know it was a comic book movie until afterwards. I just thought
they didn't make rated R comic book movies at that point. You only had the Superman and Tim Burton Batman films.
And then you had the stupid fucking vampire movement. That's how vampires should be.
Yeah, after Twilight. But there had been another really underrated vampire movie that had come out in the last, in this century was 30 Days a Night with Josh Hartnett, where it was in Alaska and the vampires went up there because it was when Alaska is the period of pure darkness. That was a dope movie.
I know I didn't see it, but I know the one you're talking about.
But Blade 2, that was Del Toro also, and I think Blade 2 is a masterpiece.
Blade 2 is really good.
I think the first one is great too. It's a little dated CGI-wise.
I know you don't like the third one.
Trinity's fun, but it doesn't have the same quality of story. It's a little more slapsticky.
I mean, to be honest, the first 2 probably shouldn't have been as good as they were.
No, they didn't have any rate, but the first one, like Stephen Dorff as the villain in the first Blade, is fucking fantastic.
He's good in everything.
I'm excited to see if Wesley Snipes, what he has to do with this, and if it gets it off the ground, but I think it's a little overdue. I think people are ready for an R-rated comic book movie at this point, because what was the last one? Watchmen or Kick-Ass, I guess? Kick-Ass was the last one? I like Kick-Ass. I know you do, but I like Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass 2 wasn't as good.
I want to just take a step back. So the Scary Movie Dark, whatever those books are called,
they
actually re-released them. I remember when my sister was in high school, she brought, and they changed the art. Look what they fucking
It's fucking creepy, man. So like that shit should terrify. That shit should creep out a child or an adult.
So the first picture, it's that like weird. There's no grays. It's black and white. So it's like almost looks like a photocopy. And it's showing comparison of the old art and the new art. And, I guess we could put it on the page. The one has her face is all, like, rotting from a spider bite. There just has a pretty girl sitting there with, like, a daddy long legs, like, oh, I'm going to get... Like,
it's creepy.
Look at this one.
Yeah, that's
her eyes
terrifying
are ripped out.
shit. Yeah,
this one's like,
you gotta post these
fucking
to the
Mr. Magoo, dating a mannequin.
Yeah, you gotta post those to the Facebook.
Look at this. What is that?
That's some creepy. I really hope this movie.
It's a decrepit scarecrow, and then there's just like a regular scarecrow.
I like that.
I'll post these on the page, but it's annoying.
So we had one thing. I think we're gonna just close. I think we skip hot takes and we do our little stunt here.
I have one last thing. We can do it real quick.
Go ahead.
I just found a new account that's my favorite.
Okay.
Jimmy Seafood.
I know Jimmy Seafood. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna write it down because I want to go into more of it and post some screenshots.
We'll just do some quick thing. Jimmy Seafood is going to war with PETA. I've never heard of Jimmy's Seafood. Next time I see it, I'm going to order 5 things off their menu. Okay, apparently it started where a shipment of lobsters crashed, and the lobsters died. And PETA's, because they're PETA's, going all like freaking the fuck out about it. They actually want to build a monument for the lobsters lost in the crash.
Lobsters don't feel anything. They're an ectoskeleton, and that's it. They don't feel. They literally don't. The myth about them screaming when you boil them is just that.
It's air coming out.
It's air coming out. Lobsters, any kind of crustacean, does not feel anything. So you should never feel bad. And this goes for vegans and vegetarians. You might as well be eating a piece of lettuce.
And like worst comes to worst, you can like put a knife in it, kill it real quick, and then throw it in the water. Like there's ways around it.
Yeah.
If you have a conscience, I don't.
They literally cannot suffer. They don't have a central nervous system.
So Jimmy's goes, fuck you, PETA. They're going to war with them. They posted a picture. So you know how PETA puts down like animals?
Yeah, of course.
They have a meal. It's a lobster, 2 crabs, and 4 jumbo shrimp. And they said... You get 7 animals, and that's 365,993 less than PETA killed.
Oh, shit.
Then they posted pictures at PETA's headquarters. It's like, we're waiting, come out.
Yeah, no, someone should go, right? Anyone that's protesting a business that, food service industry, it reminds me of this. There was this one that was going around viral a few months back. There was these group of vegan protesters at some guy's restaurant in the city, and they were going right into the front of his storefront every day and protesting.
And he just started cutting meat in front of them?
Yeah, right in the window.
Then he was the bad
And then they
guy.
called the cops, and he's like, "What? He's not doing anything wrong." I support anyone. Listen, I don't care if someone's a vegan or a vegetarian, but don't preach like you know better when no one really knows.
On the other end of the spectrum, remember a few weeks ago there was some going viral where there was like a vegan festival and a guy went
Yeah.
in there eating raw meat.
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah.
are you doing? You're doing what they do
yeah,
to you.
exactly.
Like,
That's just being an asshole
Yeah,
to
you're
be an
just being
asshole.
an asshole.
It's kind of funny, but
you're not going to get your ass kicked because they don't have the protein of muscles.
They don't have the strength. It's true. Vegetarians and vegans are naturally weaker people physically and emotionally.
I honestly have no problem. Like,
No, I
I
don't
understand
care.
what veganism
No,
is.
listen,
and I, to be honest, you're probably morally superior.
Yeah.
I just don't need to hear it every 5 seconds.
You're probably morally
You're a better
superior,
person than me.
But I acknowledge that most people are morally superior to me. I have no morals.
Everyone's morally.
Yeah. Oh, because you're somewhat better. And the last thing I had before we do this
Yeah.
stunt, which I'll explain, is it's actually got on the subject of PETA. What do you think about animal crackers? You like animal crackers? And is it a cookie or a cracker? It's a cookie. Let's be fair. Did you heard this whole thing?
Yes.
So, if you guys aren't aware, PETA has been going after the company that makes animal crackers. You know, the famous small little box you can get in ShopRite where the animals are in the front, and they're saying they're going after them because on the box these cartoon animals are in cages, and that it represents systematic oppression of zoo animals.
It does.
Fine.
They're right.
Shut up. If any, it's okay. First off, it's a fucking cartoon. If it'd be bad if they had like real pictures of animals on there getting like prodded, like that would be a problem. So animal crackers, they fucked up and they said they apologized and they took the cages out of the animals. And then I saw fucking Vox, who fucking stinks, saying that it still represents systematic oppression of animals, that there shouldn't be animals on it, and the crackers themselves shouldn't be animals because it's encouraging big game hunting.
Okay, Vox.
Now I'm against big game hunting for trophy hunting. Now I want to do it. Like if I ever had a Make-A-Wish, my Make-A-Wish is to go big game hunting for some type of like endangered species.
Why would you get a Make-A-Wish?
Because I don't know. I wish I had one.
You know what? I do too.
So I would want to hunt like a bald eagle or a giant panda, or my other fallback would be to dump flesh-eating fish into a public swimming pool. That's my Make-A-Wish. That's what. See, these kids are so dumb. They want to go to Disneyland. They want to go to WrestleMania. Do something that can really fuck up someone's life because your life is over.
They're 4 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Then their parents are fucking up because they should be telling them, like, listen, I know you really want to meet Mickey Mouse, but imagine the misery you could cause if you dump piranhas into a YMCA swimming pool.
I'm telling you right now, if you go to war with the Make-A-Wish kids, you're fighting that battle alone.
Why? Why won't you help me with the Make-A-Wish kids? What are they so entitled to? Why do they get
You know what,
special
Dan?
privileges?
You're right.
I
You're
didn't get
right.
anything like that when I was a kid. I went to Disney when I was 4, and I had to be on a leash because I was always trying to eat rocks.
You know. On that note,
all right,
let's eat something a little better than rocks.
So as I'll start explaining what this is, as you guys know,
you mentioned it last show, right?
Yes, 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I guess, Ralph was going on a juice cleanse. And this was just to help his body out and try something weird. And it was like a kale cleanse, and he was shitting a lot. And then you said something about you went over how it went. You quit after 5 days, and then you said something about how the best value in fast food is
For nutrition is
the
double
double
burger.
cheeseburger from McDonald's. So I suggested, why don't we do the drink you're doing with a double cheeseburger in it? And I said we would do it this week. Problem: McDonald's doesn't serve cheeseburgers at this early. So I just went to McDonald's, and I figured the next best solution to put what is in this first of all.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is a drink because I still bring it to work for breakfast and
Okay.
lunch. It is a. I'm sorry, everyone. You know, we get to eat this delicious food. A kale spinach mix.
It's kale and spinach. I see grapes, lemon,
frozen peaches.
oh, okay.
Stevia, and I actually forgot to put it, but I usually put in a tablespoon of flaxseed.
Okay, so we have that. Do you want to grab the sandwich while I finish explaining exactly what this is?
So I have an idea what we should do. I'm going to make it regular. You take a sip and just tell me what it tastes
Okay,
like.
and then you're going to put since they're not serving cheeseburgers, what I had to get is the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit from McDonald's, which somehow may be worse. So I'm actually going to get some video of this too, because why wouldn't I?
All right.
And we're going to set this up to see how disgusting this shit is, because I'm sure it's going to be horrendous. So first you said we're going to do it regular, right?
Yeah. So.
Okay. Grab your microphone.
Yeah. I can do while sitting.
All right. So, the first thing is the regular ass, whatever the fuck, and it's probably going to be heinous.
Okay, this is going to be loud, so it's not going to be good for the air, but whatever, who cares? You've listened to crap so far.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Well, I'll put it on the blender, so everyone can actually see it.
Okay, ready?
Here's the...
Is it? Yeah, it's recording now. So, this is the juice cleanse. Go. It's actually not picking it up that bad. Look at the levels.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
So, we're mixing this...
You can barely hear it.
Oh, you should have grabbed some of the solo cups from over there, too. We can pour it into a solo cup.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good now.
Okay. So, here's the first half of it. Now, let me set up our camera.
Just have a sip of it first, and then we'll put in the solo
Okay.
cup afterwards.
All right, so this looks like slime from Nickelodeon. Not bad. I could drink that.
Not that bad,
No,
right?
I could drink that. That's fine.
Actually, you know what? It needs a little more stevia in it, but
We don't have it.
Yeah,
So,
whatever.
all right, now go grab the. We're gonna take the McDonald's sausage, egg, and cheese, and see how that is. And I'm not expecting anything good to come from this.
it was your idea.
Yeah, no one ever said I had good ideas, though. I rarely have them.
Let's start a podcast with me.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so, and Ralph, the best part of this is you don't like eggs.
I hate eggs.
I don't understand if anyone could dislike eggs, but
I wish I liked eggs, because I like... When you look at a breakfast, it looks delicious with just a fried egg on top.
Yeah.
I just don't like it.
I have a friend, Adrian, who he would not allow people to bring eggs into his cars because they smell like farts. So, I mean, it's a very, oh my God, look at this thing. All right, so, and go.
I don't think I could... just the whole thing?
Just crush it up in your hand over it and put it, yeah, there you go. Oh, God.
It's gonna overflow, too.
Oh, lovely. So, all right. Go ahead and close that up. And, oh, no. Paper towels, I can get them. I live here. It's not even that bad, is it? Oh, goodness.
I got that video, too.
All right. Dump them.
It's not gonna catch if it's wet like that.
Here, use this piece of paper that we used to write notes about people we didn't want to record their names.
Well, we have the name of the guy from...
Yeah. Oh, God, this is going to be... So, oh, look inside of it. How gnarly. That looks like someone vomited. All right. If this just blows up everywhere, I'd be so mad.
It changed color.
Yeah, now it looks like baby poop. We have to finish it, too, don't we? No, we're chugging it.
We'll try.
Ralph says we'll try to chug it. I'm sure this isn't great radio right now, but all right.
Let's throw in some death nuts.
Oh, God. Oh.
No.
No,
Save those for...
Yeah, we need to save those for another user. Is it gross? How does it smell? Good, dump some in.
It smells like a vegan Burger King.
Oh. The sausage. The smell of it alone.
I think we need to get a... Bring that over.
I have a garbage can right here. This is... Here, Ralph.
Oh,
God. All right, we got to cheers this. And this is a tribute to your upcoming bachelor party, I guess.
I'm taking the headphones off.
All right, salute. Don't sniff it, just do it. Drink as much as you can. Salute, go.
I couldn't even get it down.
That. All right.
That is hands down the worst thing I've ever tasted.
That though. This is episode.
How do you describe the flavor? Let's just. It kind of. You know what it tastes like?
I'm crying. Look at my eyes. I'm crying.
You took a big gulp. I took a pussy gulp.
Dude, look at my cup. Look at the. Oh, okay. Hold on. These are my eyes. Oh, it's in my beard. Look, there's a tear running down my eye. So, okay. I don't know how to describe the taste.
You know, if you go to vacation over the weekend and you forgot to take the garbage out.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, what the garbage starts to smell like.
That's
Yeah.
what it tastes like, the way garbage smells. Oh.
We got to dump these out in the woods,
This
dude.
is
This is
bad.
terrible. All right,
Okay.
so for episode 17 of You Watch, I Listen, I'm Dan Perosi.
I'm Ralph.
And we will see you on Thursday. We're doing a live show and a recording. So peace out, guys. Thanks for
Bye.
listening.
Oh, dude, I don't know how you got that much in. Just it touched my tongue, and I immediately.
I need to get paper towels. That was fucking heinous. Oh, I'm still recording. Shit. I hit stop on the recording. Bye, guys.